as they walked in single file in groups of up to 700 across unfamiliar and rough terrain. The Chinese carried twin bags and baskets of belongings on a long pole, balancing the weight with a distinctive gait. It took roughly 4 weeks to reach the diggings. Next stop, Lake Waruna. If you're getting off here, please mind the step, use the handrail and leave the tram from the left-hand side. In 1876,
Hi.
45 acres of land was set aside for the building of a lake. At the time, Lake Waruna cost £10,000 to construct and was opened to the public in 1878. This is the equivalent to $2.5 million Australian dollars now. The name Waruna is an Aboriginal word meaning pleasant waters, a reminder that for thousands of years, Bendigo has been home to the Dja Dja Wurrung people.
Some kids in the back of that truck. Yeah, you can wave.
Like Waruna. Yeah, it's very popular. There's a cafe there and there's a big playground there. It's quite a nice walk actually. Place for a puzzle and a cat.
Bendigo's trams were intrinsically entwined with the city's identity and the communities that they served. The tramway operated for up to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. Early electric trams seated roughly 24 people, but were often packed to the rafters with 80 or more hanging on the straps. People in stiff shirts, long dresses and boys in knickerbockers, all with somewhere important to be. The tramway provided mass transport for all of Bendigo's special occasions, and the trams were often gaily decorated for fairs, centenaries and street processions. The trammies knew their passengers and their habits. They would hold the tram as a panting regular, race to catch it, point out places of interest, assist the frail, and happily spin a yarn with those on board. It was their friendly service that embedded them as part of the community. But it was a tough game. The shifts were long, the breaks short, and wages were roughly $3 a week. It was said that if anyone came to work wearing new shoes, they got the sack. The company suggested no one could afford new shoes on their wages, and therefore they must be tickling the till. In the face of such conditions, the camaraderie amongst the trammies was terrific.
shoes that say, hey, for them, you're not going to give enough wage. You're not making enough money to buy those shoes. It's a bit rough, this job.
A bit bumpy. A bit fun.
There's another tram coming. Look, Alea.
Yeah, I know.
There's only one track. What are we going to do?
No, the two tracks. There and there and in the middle.
Oh, yeah, that's right into one, doesn't it?
Look at that thing at the top.
Yeah. That's fun. That's how he gets his power through the line. Sometimes they have to go on the train tracks to have a turn. So if we come in a car up to this intersection and we wanted to turn that way, we would have to go onto the tram track. Yeah. To get on to the tram.
This big this is called a tape in here, and this is where Annie Catherine used to
On
go.
our left is Bendigo Tape.
Annie Catherine's a library.
This area has a long-standing relationship with Bendigo's prestigious tertiary education. The first building on this site was a single-storey timber and canvas structure, constructed in the early 1850s as the Sandhurst Mechanics Institute. The institute expanded in 1863, building the first half of the existing building. In 1873, the two-storey extension was erected by the School of Mines. Between 1887 to 1890, it was a home to the Sandhurst Fine Art Gallery, exhibiting works from across the globe, with many of those artworks now housed within the Bendigo Art Gallery. The Courthouse Hotel on the corner is the oldest surviving building along Pall Mall, and next to it is the site where Sidney Meyer opened his first store in 1900. Meyer had arrived in Australia a year earlier as a penniless Russian migrant, but his talent for retail quickly earned him a loyal customer base.
Yeah, that's just up there near the yeah, just around the corner.
Coming up on our left is Bull Street, crowned at its eastern end by the Bendigo Town Hall, a grand design by local architect Wilhelm Violent, and a fine example of boom-tile architecture.
We passed the lake. We already went to the lake. Now we're going back again.
The playground was.
We're now approaching the Shamrock Hotel, which began life as a small hotel in 1854. The hotel's patronage grew so quickly with the booming goldfields that it was was rebuilt twice before becoming the building we see today. Its grandeur made it the accommodation of choice of visiting dignitaries. Guests included Melbourne opera singer Dame Nellie Melba, who is now featured on our $100 note, and His Royal Highness Prince Charles, now King Charles, and Diana, Princess of Wales. Coming up on our left is the Heritage Listed Beehive building, built in 1872 and designed by renowned architect Charles Webb. It was originally home to the Bendigo Mining Exchange. We're now in Bendigo's shopping and dining precinct. This one-stop foodie paradise epitomises Bendigo's food culture with international cuisine, local produce, locally roasted coffee, boutique shopping, and everything in between. Next stop, Charing Cross. If you are getting off here, please mind the step, use the handrail, and leave the tram from the right-hand side. If you have just joined us, welcome aboard. In 1858, a company was started as a building society to improve conditions on the Bendigo goldfields. This society loaned money to miners, enabling them to move out of tents and work towards owning their own home. Today, that loan scheme is better known as the Bendigo Bank, whose head office is situated to your left. From the 1930s to the 1960s, this area was the heart of Bendigo's theatre district, with the Plaza Cinema, Lyric Theatre and Royal Princess Theatre all within walking distance of one another. The Star Cinema in Eagle Hawk used to swap movies with the Lyric Theatre at interval, using the Bendigo tramways as transport. The tram conductor would meet the projectionists out the front and exchange the reels. It wasn't just people and movie reels that were transported. There were even parcel tickets. For threepence, a parcel would be carried by tram from the city to a designated tram stop or convenience shop along the route. Newspapers, meat, groceries and a variety of other goods all found their way onto the trams and were delivered by the trammies. You may be wondering why Bendigo's public tramway system closed. Urban sprawl meant schools and shops were being built away from the city centre, bus services were introduced, and privately owned vehicles became affordable. As much as the community loved the trams, fewer were relying on them for transport and revenue steadily declined. 16th of April 1972 marked the last day of commuter services, with over 20,000 people lining Bendigo streets to bid the trams farewell. The trams were followed back to the depot by a hooting motorcade, and marching bands played "Now is the Hour, We Must Say Goodbye." The idea of trams vanishing from Bendigo didn't sit easy with the community. 5,000 signatures were collected on a petition, together with 600 letters, pleading for the government to allow Bendigo's trams and track to be preserved as a tourist tramway. As a result, Bendigo's vintage talking tram service began in December 1972 and has been running ever since. We're nearing Central Deborah Gold Mine, which operated as a commercial mine from 1939 to 1954. During this time, almost 1 tonne of gold was extracted. which would be worth around $91 million at today's prices. Central Deborah Gold Mine now operates as an award-winning tourist attraction and is a living reminder of the important role that mining played in making Bendigo the vibrant and diverse city it is today. Be sure to experience one of the fascinating underground tours. For those of you leaving us, we hope you've enjoyed the experience and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Passengers leaving us here are asked to wait for directions from the tram crew. Mind the step and use the handrail. While those of you choosing to stay aboard will have a few minutes to wait while our crew prepares for the next part of our journey. Good day.